Hi, welcome everyone to another episode of Let's Talk Special Economic Zones. I'm your host, Ainsley Brown, and in today's episode, we're going to talk about SEZs and customs data unlocking this treasure chest for zone competitiveness. Now, as I do with all my episodes, I try to do a quick definition of what a special economic zone is, and they carry different names. In some jurisdictions, you'll hear them as free zones, export processing zones, foreign trade zones, enterprise areas, whatever it is. It's the same thing. It's a geographic area uh, done so by some law, decree, regulation that says this part of the country operates different than the rest of the country, oftentimes characterized by some sort of incentive or series of incentives that attract both local and or foreign investment into that area to build out or operate zones. And zones come in a variety of forms. Sometimes they're turnkey solutions. It's already built. You just have to move in. Others, it's a field. It's a empty ground that you need to build your own factory, build your own office space, etc., etc. So, to capture the fulsome nature of what it is, I typically use special economic zones to capture the broad term of what these different things are. And they're worldwide. They're not just, as sometimes is often mistaken, a third world thing. They're in just about every country you can think about. United States has them. Canada has them. They're in almost every jurisdiction you can think of. But in terms of zones, and especially in this era of AI, the insights that could be gleaned from customs data existed before AI, but AI has enhanced it. Now, for some zones or some countries with zones, this may seem trite. This may seem so obvious because they do it. For others, it may not be so obvious because the zones and the zone authority, if there's a separate authority or the zone operator, if they're, and perhaps they're the one and the same, there are different models, as I said before, are oftentimes separate from the customs authority. In some instances, the customs is not even allowed to be in the zone, right? Strictly. And one of the almost universal, or close to universal incentives that's offered is no customs duties, right? So whatever you bring into the zone, as long as it remains in the zone, is duty free, or free from customs. Oftentimes, customs does though get a level of visibility, and that is where the key is. So you've brought in something, whether through the port, the airport, the land border, whatever it is. Customs, through the customs declaration, will know what it is. It also will know where it's going. That insight is invaluable. So you know what is being brought in by who and where it's going. So this information, oftentimes very proprietary, becomes critical in terms of attracting further investments, because you know what's going on. You know that based on import patterns, perhaps, and this is where aftercare comes in, perhaps another supplier could be used that could potentially offer something cheaper, and especially if that supplier exists in the zone or within the zone framework within that country already, even better, right? So those insights are critical for aftercare services, whether the zone is operating by itself, separate from a regulatory body, or they're one and the same. It's the same. Those insights are critical. If it's a separate body, that is a regulatory body that's separate from the zone, even the regulatory body, by studying these patterns, by approaching their clients, their customers, they can create even greater synergies with the existing players, but also knowing when you're attracting someone else to come into the zone or to operate, to build, whatever the case may be, you have supporting data that speaks to this is the existing pattern, right? And with AI, you can even take it further by running real life scenarios or you know, quote unquote war games, if you want, if so to speak, by inputting certain scenarios, by saying why your zone or even why your country or why your zone regime is better, or will it enhance that particular company, particular company's supply chain, or how do you add further value to their value chain, or give them an opportunity to create new value within their value chain. So customs data, and I'm not going to say that it's the only type of data that is necessary or needed. There's other types of data, of course, but that data is on the front lines of zone competitiveness, of aftercare. So customs, that data is no longer just about trying to regulate the borders, trying to knowing what the rules of origin are, where the product come from, so you can charge the duties, or the appropriate duties, if they're payable. And it's not even just about trade facilitation anymore, which is also a positive thing, but it's about competitiveness of zones, which are, as I said, are confined geographic spaces. The same insight could go for a wider application within a country. Yes, I must admit that. But because of the unique nature of zones being so confined, it's possible for them to for them to um, exploit this, or use it. I should say, exploit sounds negative, but use it in a way that enhances the competitiveness, drives aftercare services, so on, etc., etc. So if you like this episode, please like, share, subscribe. If you want to see me do a particular episode or a particular topic, just leave me a comment down below and I'll get right back to you. Bye for now.